Well, hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to Marley's Mondays with Marley's Tuesday edition.
Welcome to Marley's Crazy.
Yeah. Or I could say Tournament of Stitches edition.
Yeah. I feel
Tuesday
like
tournaments.
I need to be like this because my face is so close to the other one.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
It just looks funny in the
vertical.
The vertical.
Yeah.
It looks real weird.
It's all right. Hi.
Hi.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Were you waiting on us? You waiting on me? Always waiting on me. It's okay though. Good things are
Marley
worth the
said
wait.
to me about like 2 minutes ago, she was like, so updating everything doesn't take an hour. It takes 2 hours. It was the most like ADHD time blindness thing that like you were like self-aware of like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, and the thing was, like I told you at 9 o'clock, right? I was like, I'm giving myself to do this until 11. And at 11, I'm switching over to do this.
Right.
You could have said something.
Well, I didn't know how long it takes.
I didn't know either.
Because honestly, you're like a mad demon when it comes to like, and like, so I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I know that I have to start at 9 o'clock. So that we're ready
the funny part, like I was saying to you, so we did it. We organized the Marley Birdhouse in such a way so that way we could, just put things up and we don't have to have things like blanked out. The hard part with that is as we're putting things up, like it's all you can't do it behind the scenes and do it. So I could have done it all ahead of time, but you can't do it all ahead of time. So I got to figure out the way to do it ahead of time is what I'm saying.
I think if you update it overnight, and then it's just a nice surprise for people who are in VIP of like, hey, you might get it early.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I don't know. I could have had it done. I literally could have had it done last night.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no. It was just one of those funny things.
Anyways, hi y'all.
Hi everybody.
It's been fun. Welcome to Mondays with Marley on Tuesday. I'm Marley. That's Robin. We are the dynamic duo of marleybird.com. I promise you it is not going to be all Tournament of Stitches all the time, but that's really where our brains are right now. And we know a lot of you are there also. And even if you're not doing the Tournament of Stitches, I know that there's a lot of stuff we can talk about and teach you that will be advantageous to you in future projects that you might be doing. So I hope that you will stick around with us and not be like, God, they just keep talking about this damn thing and I'm not doing it. Like, I get it. Like, I understand. But ooh, something right here. Big pull. Oh, gosh. That hurt. That's a stinger. Okay.
Hopefully you'll stick around with us otherwise. I'll just finish your sentence.
Yes, thank you. That's how sharp that was. That was a sharp pull.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's where we are. So I'm gonna I guess how did week 1 go? If you are participating, how did week 1 go? If you're not participating, just curious, why aren't you? I'm just curious. Like, is it just things are just so busy, you don't have time, or you didn't know about it, or like you were waiting to see what play 1 was, and then you were like, let's wait and see what play 2 is. Like, which is totally valid. Like, if you're not a mystery kind of person, I get that completely. More often than not, when we do mystery alongs, we have a lot of people join in towards the end because they get to see what it looks like. And I mean, we understand, we totally get that. So I'm just curious how everybody's doing. A lot of people are still working on theirs. I know that in the Facebook group, there's a lot of people posting, and I really like that we opened it up to where it wasn't just in particular threads that you posted. Like, we let it so that everybody can, like, we just wanted everybody to be able to have the joy of it,
and
right?
See it, right? Like,
plus we're not on like this 1 hour time constraint, like game day or something, so it just works a little bit differently.
Right.
Anyways,
so let's go to the website and just show everybody once again where the free version is.
Okay.
I know we're going to be talking about the plays in a minute, but do you want to drive? Do you want me to drive?
I think you probably should, because mine it was a little glitchy.
It's a little cranky. A little cranky. Okay, so okay, everybody, let me share my screen. Hold on.
Ooh, was going to, but a friend of my brother asked me to do something for her and is paying me. Totally understand.
Nice.
Go for the money.
Nice. Nice. So I'm sure Marley has the link for you in the description
Yes,
box.
it's in the video description box.
So it
This
takes
page.
you, yeah, it takes you here to Tournament of Stitches.
Mm-hmm.
All you're going to do is scroll down. You head to the table of contents and you go to this one that's starred. Pattern links. Get the free pattern. Click on down, and here you'll have your knitting in blue and crochet in red. So if we want to click on play 2, hopefully it did not bring you along for the ride. So hold on, I got to reshare. Let me show you where we are for play 2. So it brings you to play 2 and you get to, I'm going to scroll down to the picture. Scroll, 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 scroll. And you get the picture. And this is play 2 knitting, like sunburst rays.
Yeah, so they're called shooting squares, and this is the right side. And the fun thing about Netflix and Chill for knitting this week is it's reversible. You can choose that view or the opposite view.
And so like that's where, like, if you saw like on the main page where she had 2, she just it's the same directions. It's just which side you like it's just like it's going to be which side you're doing your things on.
Yeah. Like if
your
you're on your
knits and
right
purls.
side, instead of purling, you'll be knitting, but it's written out so you don't have to think about it.
Right.
So
you wanna show
the
'em?
intended right side is this, where it looks like these like columns of stockinette with some squares. Like it's fun. I feel like this is very structural. There's lots of geometric lines going on. I'm delayed over here, by the way. So this is really cool on the right side. The wrong side of this one, I loved it so much. I was like, this side would be equally as beautiful. So you could do either one and you would have a really beautiful shawl. So you have an option to do either one of these. And it's just knits and purls, so you aren't learning anything new there. I did go into a little bit more in depth in the video of making sure you know how to move your yarn between your needles as you transition from a knit to a purl so you don't get accidental yarn overs, which I'm assuming a lot of you already know, but because this is the beginner more level, I wanted to make sure that I went over that a little bit.
What was I going to guess? Man, today my words are not with me.
You're
They're
good.
like
Man is nerd. I'll talk about that in just a minute. You'll understand why.
Yeah. Okay. So for crocheters, let's share screen again. So crocheters, if you're doing the free version, I probably should share it the other way. Hold on. Give me a second. You click the red button instead of the blue button, and let me show you where you'll end up when we were back at the other one, just so that. All right, so crocheters, yours looks just like the knitters. You go down to play 2, and we, as promised, are going in a different direction and lots more crocheting this week. Like a lot more crocheting. This reminds me of a checkerboard.
I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fun look. So, okay, let me stop sharing. So this week, as promised, it's no longer a triangle. I call it an arrow. I don't know. We're going up.
I'm going to refresh my stuff because I'm super delayed.
That's fine. Go ahead. Come on back. So crocheters, we head up. And I talk about this a lot in the video if you watch, but like the whole like color sequence that I was trying to get you to do, and it because we'll do like you'll do a lace section and then a divider and a lace section and a divider, and the colors go, you know, like B, C, D, B, C, D. They repeat. The Netflix and chill has just joy. Like it's just joy of doing very simple lace, meaning it only uses single crochets, double crochets, and chains. So it's like all stitches that you know. And the color changes all happen on one side. So you're just carrying up your yarn. The repeat is a 2-row repeat no matter what you're on. So it's a very fun one to do. You will have to obviously read the directions. So it's not as easy as this because this was just like 1 and 1. But you'll get there really quickly. It almost looks like little hearts when I'm like unfocused myself. But yeah, Netflix and chill, like a little checkerboard pattern.
Yeah.
So with crocheters, you will see right away why VIP is really where you want to be. Because every week for the next couple weeks, we do 2 lace sections. So you get an opportunity to change up your second one if you want to. I mean, you don't have to. You can just change the color like I did. But like that's where you're like, oh, maybe that's why I might want that. So, you ready to show them off? Do you want me to go first?
Do you want me to go first? Because
Because
it's story time with mine. Do you want to go with yours or mine?
I'll go with mine and then you go story time.
Okay.
Because then you knitters have a little bit that we need to talk about this week. Okay, crocheters. So that was Netflix and chill. Smooth jazz this week.
I like that.
Lovely. So crocheters. It is also an easy lace pattern, but I make it hard because it's not one, like going back and forth in a row with one color. This is you're going forward with one color. You don't turn. You go forward with the second color. Then you turn. Then you go back with the next color. Don't turn. Go back with the next. So it's like 2 rows in one direction this way, then 2 rows in this direction, then 2 rows in this direction. So your brain goes, I'm sorry, what is she asking me to do? But it makes a really cool pattern. Like it's like I call it like the highlighter almost. Like it's like a little highlighter. Highlights that pattern. It is also a 2-row repeat. So once you get over the weird part that I'm doing, the smooth jazz part of it as it were, it becomes very easy. So again, options. So if you got VIP, you got lots of options. Then the be quiet is 100% should be quiet. This is do not have anyone around you situation. No one is allowed to ask you for anything. But it's pretty cool. So this one it's hard to see on screen. It is a puff shell. So we're going to do puffs. And then it also does that highlighter thing where I'm going to go in 2 rows with like the yellow or the purple and then 1 row in the green. So it just kind of like highlights that row. The green reminds me of like a ribbon. It's like you have a fabric and you're like weaving a ribbon through it. But because of the angle, there is no repeat here. It's a 12-row repeat. So if like you were doing an entire shawl, then you would get to repeat, but you don't here. That's where the stinker part comes in. So this is, and I tell you in the video, this is where you love your stitch diagram because you can like mark off every stitch that you did. Because it's not like a reduced diagram. It has every single stitch that you're going to crochet on it. And you have a little fun task. The puff stitch is like the most exciting stitch that you have. Everything else is everything you can do. It's just another, oh yeah, right. Crochet can go in any direction and do anything you want. It's just getting used to that. But I really think if you watch the video, like using, I talk about it, all 3 tools. Like you watch the video, you grab the stitch diagram, you have the written pattern, you're fine. You're fine on all levels. But I can't wait, Marley, until they all mix and match of like what you choose.
Yeah.
Because like not only do you choose which concentration, I make you change your color. That's how we're gonna like use all the colors. So it's like you'll have 2 different colors and you could have 2 different patterns. I don't know. It's super fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really
you guys
cool.
wanted to see the other side. The okay, Netflix and chill looks exactly the same. That's the right side. That's the wrong side. It looks exactly the same. It's almost reversible, not quite because of those front loops. Smooth Jazz, the lace section is 100% reversible. It looks the same on each side. So that's the back. This is the front. You only can tell it's the front because of the divider. Well, you know, you'll have a little bit of texture. The Be Quiet looks incredibly similar on the front and the back. So front, back, because they're puff stitches, they just pull up. So you can only tell that you're on the back because you don't have those great shallow posts in your divider.
Those are cool.
So crocheters, you have lots of options and lots of thinking and lots of crocheting. You're crocheting at least twice what you crocheted last week. Last week was like my warm up. It was like you're choosing your gauge, you're messing with reminding yourself essentially how to like read a pattern. And now it's go time.
Crochet Girly 96. Yes, that's what she was saying, is if you have the VIP, you can, because you have those 2 sections, you could mix and match.
Mm-hmm. Which is super fun. Which
that's
I can't
really
wait.
Neat.
Can't wait. Anyway, so crocheters, you're a bit more straightforward in terms of like you have lots of decisions to make. Knitters,
you want to hear what happened?
Knitters.
I changed my mind.
Yes, sounds about right.
So I tell you guys this in the video that we draw all the charts out first. So we have all the charts drawn out for this whole thing. They're all drawn. So I don't start knitting until we have the written words made as well. So that way I can look at the chart, look at the words, try and find where there is a mistake. I'm not the very best at it because I tend to just get very in the flow and not look at the words very much, which is why I would never make a really good tester, which is why I ask for testers. And I worked on this one. And that's when I was like, man, I really like the reverse side as much as I like the right side. But I was like, I'm not ripping that out. That's crazy. I'm like, nope, I'm just going to offer both. I'm like, perfect. So then I picked up my Smooth Jazz and I started knitting. And I knit quite a bit. And I did not like it at all. I did not like it. I liked the chart. The chart what looked complicated. It was not. It was boring to knit. It was boring to look at. I did not like it. So I ripped it out. That's why there is not a picture of this yet, because I have not tackled this one yet. Like the next bit. Obviously we have the written instructions, we have the charts. But those just came to me within the last 48 hours.
And you have the video tutorial of how to do all of the
fun there's nothing. This is the cool part. So this is our play one, right? Obviously, I can put this down. Like I'm not showing any, you don't know. Use a lifeline. Use your lifeline. Because the lifeline saved my butt. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I am expanding on the idea. So the play one was kind of diamonds. Mm-hmm. Play two, you could think of it as a diamond, but it's more like triangles. There's like a triangle of stockinette and a triangle of reverse stockinette, and then there's lace to help create those triangles. So there are no new stitches. There's nothing new. You know how to do everything on there. It's simply a matter of following along with the written instructions and following along with the chart. So what you'll notice on your in your Marley Birdhouse, there's not an actual picture of the piece yet because I just showed you what I have because I changed my mind last minute. Be happy I did. You'd hate the other one. You really, no, it was not good. I'm going to share a picture. I'm going to share a picture of the actual stitch pattern, not the shawl chart, but the stitch pattern, so that you guys can see it. Maybe see if it will work. My computer is really finicky. Okay, so this is the play number 2 stitch pattern. So you can see, can you see the triangles?
Yeah.
So I felt like if you looked at just the stitch pattern, it's like, okay, I can visualize what's going on there. You can see your decreases, you can see your increases with the knit 2 togethers or the SSKs, the yarn overs. And then that's all the white that you see, that's stockinette. So those are knits, and all the dots, those are your purls. So you're going to get a similar look in feel, but it's not the same look. And the transition, if you started with Smooth Jazz going for play number 1 and you go to play number 2, this works so much better. This works so much better. I'm so much happier with it than what we were going to do before.
So you're going to have these little holes that highlight.
You have little tiny holes around it.
The triangle, and the triangle will have like, it'll feel like texture compared to the other side.
So you'll notice it's called faux cables. And I think the reason we called it that is when it's done, it kind of gives this illusion
like crunch
of, like you're not doing actual, but it kind of gives you this really cool look. You might disagree with me on that, but that's fine. I think that's what it looks like. And I think it looks cool. So this is the Smooth Jazz. So I am going to be working on that and Be Quiet the rest of the day, because same thing applied to Be Quiet, y'all. It's not that I didn't like the stitch pattern I chose for Be Quiet, but I felt like as I was knitting on it, it was going to curve too much and it was going to shrink in the fabric and not allow it to lay the way it needed to. So the stitch pattern, Robin saw it, is freaking gorgeous. It's so pretty. It's very floral, very nature. It was very pretty. But I didn't think it was right for this shawl. So last minute, changed my mind on that one too. Because I figured if you're going to change your mind on one, might as well change on the other. So for that one, did the same thing. So I know. Guys, here's the funny thing. In the tester group, they were all like, shocker, Marley's changing her mind at the last minute. This is the way I roll. Like, this is as exciting for me as it is for you. So I did start the Be Quiet because I was like, okay, I want to make sure. Can you see how it looks like?
Yeah, it's hold on. Let's make you big. How do I make you big?
So I again add a lifeline. So this is my play 1. Here's the start of my play 2. Can you see like this leaf? So we're doing like leaf columns. So these are like the bigger leaves. And then in between here, there's going to be another leaf. You'll see it on the chart. I'm going to show you in a minute. But can you see how it looks like it flows lace-esque from one to the next? I will tell you, it's a little bit easier because you don't have the cables, but it still requires a lot of concentration, especially as you transition from making the bigger leaves into the smaller leaves, because all of a sudden reading your knitting, because you're changing the way it's constructed. So reading the knitting is a little bit tricky. So you really have to pay attention to those rows, but it's a very enjoyable knit. And I really hope you guys like the way that's starting to take shape. And let's show you on the chart too. You want to come back and maybe.
So that's really pretty. You'll have, oh yeah, look at that. So you have the big leaves. I see. Yeah.
So the big leaves are the stockinette, right? So you can reverse. So the reverse side. Yes. Yes. So this is the right side. Here's the reverse side. So it absolutely can work both ways. It's like a embossed kind of feel. It's very pretty. I still got to keep the idea of the leaves, sort of the natural feel of what I was going for with the other one, but this one will structurally be more sound for the what we're doing. Really enjoy making this. You'll notice there are new symbols on here that you don't know how to do. And so I teach you how to do those in the video. And they're real simple. It's just a make one purl right and a make one purl left. And again, it's so that way as you're increasing without doing a yarn over, you're increasing and you're making it a purl, and it will create just a little tiny hole, but not a big hole. And it just gives this really cool visual effect here. So that's how that goes. So that's why there are no pictures of these yet. But I really do hope that you guys can look at these charts and in your mind be like, oh, I can visualize what's going on. I promise you, as soon as I have this done, I will post a picture. And I do knit pretty fast, but I will remind you, we started with like 137 stitches, and I think we're going to, I don't
know, like 800 billion, it seemed like on your row by row.
It is a lot. And it's because we're doing it. I told you guys this before. We're doing a triangle, 221. So this is going to take you time. So week 1, if it took you a lot of time for week 1, week 2 is going to take you longer. So maybe space it out. I think there's a total of, I think it's 40 rows. So if you want to space it out to like, what would it be like? Well, it'd be less than 10 rows a day. But if you kind of did that and kind of kept up with something like that, you'd be able to keep up with it. But it's worth it. It's worth it. And if you watch the videos, the shawl I'm wearing is from the very first Tournament of Stitches. And it is, that is the Flirt Alert shawl. It is one of my favorites. It was done with Chic Sheep. And so it is also a worsted weight yarn shawl, and so it can kind of give you an idea of, oh, a triangle shawl, how would I wear that? And it's you can kind of see how I wore it in that video. That's one of the ways. It was great yesterday because I wore it to track also, and had it on, and it kept me really nice and warm underneath my coat.
Yeah, because
so that was really
freezing,
nice,
right?
But yeah, it was freezing.
Yeah,
it was really cold. But that's why I don't have a picture for you guys. And I apologize. Like, I had every intent of having a picture for you. Like, you guys can ask the testers. I had everything ready. I just didn't like it. And if mama don't like it, you're not going to like it. That's the rule, right? Like, if I am actively knitting something and I am bored to death, and I don't even like looking at what I'm knitting, you guys are absolutely not going to like what you're knitting. So it sucks, but it's one of those I have to make that decision of, am I going to piss people off because they aren't going to see an actual sample? Yeah, probably. But I think you'd be more pissed off if you were making something and you'd be like, what is that? Like, I don't like this. Because that's really how I felt. And so that's where I am. So again, this is the importance of a lifeline. You want to put I say this in all the videos, you're going to add a lifeline to your work before you begin play number 2. Because you have play number 1 done. It is a safe spot. Put that lifeline in and leave it in place. So that way you can rip back should you change your mind midway through, whatever it may be. But yeah, I've read through, just because I don't want you guys to think that we have the chart, then we just wrote the words and then gave it to you guys. I've read through everything. Shiri's read through everything. Lonnie has read through everything. Marla's been a huge help reading through things. So we do have people looking at the chart and the words. And if you were looking at Stitch Fiddle, which we will look at here in a minute, you'll notice that the words the way we write the words and the way Stitch Fiddle generates the words based on the chart are different. They both technically work. But because we're humans and we understand how a pattern should be written and understood as knitters, it's much easier to read our written instructions, I think. But that also lends itself to the opportunity for just basic human error. Maybe we miss an L instead of an R, or maybe we do a K instead of a P. Like, it's just little things like that. There's no huge structural errors, which is really good. But when in doubt, defer to the chart, because that's literally what we are using to write our words. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, we're going to make mistakes.
It makes sense to me because
but I want people to
do
understand.
the crochet too.
Right. You do
Defer
the same thing.
to the diagram.
Yep. Always defer to the chart. We're very visual people. And so I cannot sit down and just write something out and then have it poop out and then go and do a chart. It has to be the reverse for me. I have to do the chart and then the words. So if there's ever anything in doubt, always go to the chart. And then for our charts this time around, something that's important is the first time around, the charts represented every single stitch on your needles. For play 2, you will notice that we, at first, we were just going to give you a condensed chart where it condensed down so you didn't have this huge chart. And then after much back and forth with Shiri's my tech editor, you guys. We're the ones writing it together. Mm-hmm. After much back and forth, I was like, Shiri, I feel very strongly we need to give them a version that is everything so that if somebody has to have the everything, they have it. And we give them the condensed. So it's the same chart. It's one has all of them and it's massive. And the other is condensed down and you have the repeat. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I do talk about that in the video. I hope I explain it in a way that I don't confuse people more, but I wanted them to understand, hey, you're not going to have like, don't be like, oh my gosh, there's only 30 stitches on this chart, but I have 100 on my knitting. What's going on? I wanted you to understand why. So using the words with the chart are really going to be important if you're not familiar with how charts work and how they get condensed down like that. But we did offer both. And just like what I showed you, we do offer just the stitch pattern itself, the chart for the stitch pattern itself. So should you be a budding designer or want to use this somewhere else, you have the solitary one, and it's in Stitch Fiddle where you can copy it and use it elsewhere for like in templates and stuff. Like it's way more than what you normally would get with any particular pattern. No designer is giving away their stuff like this. Like nobody's going to be giving you their Illustrator files. That's essentially what we're doing. So does that answer the question for people about why there is not a picture of the Smooth Jazz and the Be Quiet? And I really hope you'll give me some grace and forgiveness and be happy that I changed the other, because the Smooth Jazz one sucked. It was so boring. It was called Ziggy Rose, Ziggy Stripe. It was not. It just on the right side, it had a knit stitch that went like this. And then it was like 7 purls and then a knit stitch. Like, it was very boring. It was very, very, very boring. Needlessly complicated for what we were getting. I was like, no. And then I was like, well, maybe I should add baubles in the purl section, which would have been really cool. But by that point, I hated it so much. I was like, no, I don't even want to do that. I don't even want to do that. I had all sorts of ideas. I was like, maybe I twist that knit stitch and I add baubles. And then I'm like, nope, I don't like any of it. The best part about it is that the zigzag parts came exactly out of the sections of the first part. So it looked like it really went seamless, but it looked ugly. It was just ugly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's all part of the design process. It's a wild ride, because even though when you're looking at it and, you guys are talking about it, you're like, oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
And then when you
put it into action,
200 stitches of it, you're like, I hate that.
That's exactly it. And it's not as easy as just, I mean, crochet, I can rip out and recrochet pretty quickly, right? With the knitting, it's just not, it's not like that. I mean, it takes me, 6 rows to get an inch? You guys have 1. So it just takes a lot more time. And as you guys can see, I'm the one knitting all 3 of these. It's not a complaint because I'm actually really enjoying it. I do not want to give away these projects to somebody else to knit on because I'm loving this yarn so much. And side note, I talked about this in the video for the Netflix and Chill. I'm using, I told you, the quad needles from Chaogu, the new quad ones. Yeah. I am in love with them. I'm going to buy a whole nother set to put them in an interchangeable set because I love these so much. Yeah. I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan.
That's so nice.
While I have you here, I'll talk to you guys because this was a question in the group about when do you change to longer needles? When you're ready. Like, honestly, the answer is when your stitches are so scrunched up on your needles that you're uncomfortable, change to a longer needle. How long of a needle? Totally up to you. I like a really long needle. These are 60-inch needles, and you can see we're only on play 2, and it's all stretched out nice on 60-inch needles, right? So it's going to end up getting scrunched up on 60-inch. So
But you
I
like seeing it. Like,
yeah,
I think
I
it
like it.
depends on, like, your ability. Like, if you like seeing it, those big, long cables could be great.
Yeah.
If those big, long cables feel really overwhelming to hold, then you need the little ones.
Yeah. So you change them, and I talk about how you don't have to go in and transfer them over like one for one onto the new needle. You can literally use whatever your new needle is, put that in your right hand, and then work your next row onto the new needle, and that will empty your old needle, and everything will be on your new needle. So now would be the time if you want to transfer. I transferred over to longer needles. That's the beauty of the interchangeables, is it made it really easy because I just got a longer cord and transferred over to a longer cord.
Yeah.
But the yarn is scrumptious. I am so happy I chose this yarn. I'm so happy I chose this yarn. One of the great things about the knitting side, I know with you have a lot of crocheting in the videos you have to do. I don't have to do a whole lot of teaching of the skills because it's knitting and purling, increasing and decreasing. We've already taught those, right? So from here on out, if there's a new stitch that we're learning, I get to grab some yarn and show that. But overall, it's the same stitches, just a different order of doing stitches and such to create these fabrics.
Right. Right. Because you've already done your increases, but now that I'm literally working on the step out as we talk. But now that we are the crocheters, instead of like we were increasing on the ends, we're now decreasing on the ends. Yeah. And the decreases will always be different because the stitch patterns are always going to be different. Your videos are going to be long from here on out. Yeah. Long stitch patterns, lots of crocheting.
Not really for us. Knitters, the videos aren't going to be super long.
Which basically means that you get to get up and get knitting much faster.
Much faster. Somebody is asking about the quads and they want to look at them. I'm giving you an affiliate link to Jimmy Bean's Wool because they sell them there. So I'm going to give you guys an affiliate link.
That's a nice company too. I saw a question a while back about colors. Like if the way I was designing mine was with 4 colors. If you have lots more colors, well, then you get to decide how you want to use them and where you want to use them. I would, that's like going to be part of like your fun of kind of like, ooh, now I can bring in this one and now I can bring in that one. And so play with it is basically what I would say. Have fun and play. If you look in the Marlene's Minions Facebook group, you'll see a lot of people are like using color in lots of different ways and go for it. Like have fun.
I'm putting a link in the video description for the needles.
Perfect. I will say, like, I hope all you crocheters who got the vintage are enjoying it because I love the feel of these. Like, I love the feel of these. They're so lightweight and they just feel like they're going to be so lovely to wear and like an heirloom. Like, it's I feel like you're making something that you're like, wow. This is going to be here forever. Like it just feels, I can't express how light it is. And usually like really skinny yarn really ticks me off. But this is just so nice to play with. I really like it.
That's really cool.
Because like I would like when I crochet, like I'm for all the step outs, I'm using your yarn. I'm using a Chic Sheep, and like it goes so fast because you're using a big hook. It's so like chunky, but like they look like totally different projects. Like this looks like a blanket to me. I feel like I'm making a blanket, like where you're like, ooh, this is so delicate.
Yeah. Somebody's asking about the quads. Am I using the swivel with the quads or the plain? I've tried both. I just transferred over to swivel with my quads. Previously, I used my lace cords with the quads, which leads to the other question. Somebody said, do they work with your existing cables? Yes, your existing cords work with the quads.
So nice.
So if you have the rounds, you know, you can absolutely, if you have the Forte, if you have, they have bamboo ones, they all work with the same cables.
The swivels are my jam.
Yeah.
It's just the way I knit. I like it.
Swivel is okay. I like the swivel needle or cables from ChowGoo. I like them. I don't love them. I love my red lace ones. I like the swivel ones, and I use them, but they're not my go-to. I don't gravitate towards those. I gravitate to the red ones because I think they're fantastic. But yeah, I have been a fan of square needles for a long time. I think I told you guys before, I used the Collage square needles back in, I think Louette makes them now. And they're still great. They're still wonderful. But I didn't have an interchangeable set with those. They were all fixed. So having the quads work with my ChowGoo cords, which I love, I mean, I'm so incredibly happy. I can't even express to you how happy I am. And you guys know, if I don't like something, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not even going to do the stitch pattern for you. You know what I mean? Like, I love them. Like they are so good. I'm very, very happy that they offered to send them to me. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's really awesome. I didn't even know they had them. I was just reaching out to say hello because I hadn't talked to ChowGoo in a while. I was like, hey, I just wanted to see how things are going, because life is crazy right now, right? Like all businesses. And they were like, hey, we have these. You want to? I'm like, yeah, I would love some. And I'm just like, well, crap, these are amazing. Like, I love these. So very excited about those. Okay. Those are go ahead.
I was just going to say, so Marley.
Yes.
Teach us about Stitch Fiddle.
All right. Can we talk about why there is not a Stitch Fiddle video yet?
Oh my gosh. How, Marley, first off, how many times did you record it?
6 times, you guys. And I'm not even joking with you. I don't know what's going on. I've tried to record with Loom, and it stalls on me. And then I tried to record with OBS, and then there was no sound. And then I tried to record with OBS, and my whole computer's like, it does not want to be filmed. I don't understand what's going on. So I told Robin Saturday, was it Saturday we talked? I was like, listen, we are going to do a Stitch Fiddle demo on the video, on the podcast today, in hopes that it actually works and I can link to it inside of the Marley Bird house. So you guys are going to see the live demonstration together. And this is what I have been trying to film for weeks now.
Right. So just for everybody's, if you've been along with all of our make-alongs, you've already seen Marley demo Stitch Fiddle. It's just she was trying to do one specifically for Tournament of Stitches instead of like the Prism Poncho or the First Fall or any of the other ones that we've done.
Right.
So there's no new information that she's going to show, but there's a lot of people who are new to Tournament of Stitches and new to our make-alongs. And so it's just something simple that we want to go through so that everyone can see.
Also, can I just say that nobody has mentioned yet about my red finger? I have been waiting for somebody to be like, why do you have one fingernail painted? Why? Nobody has said anything yet. Now you guys are going to. Now you guys are like, well, I didn't want to say anything.
You just wanted to know which one was your right hand and which one was your left hand.
That's it. There you go. That's actually kind of funny. That was a total ADD. Like, I just saw my red finger in the picture. I was like, oh, nobody has said anything yet. Okay. I got to get everything situated here so that I can show you guys. The biggest thing I wanted to show you is how you would read the chart for the shawl shape, because it's presented in a different manner than you might be used to looking at. Like, we looked at those charts here at the start that were just the stitch pattern, right? But when we put it into the shawl shape, it looks differently. So let me get this set up, and I'm totally going to start this off as if we are talking, like I'm teaching you guys, because I'm going to cut the video and put this on I just said Stitch Fiddle on Marley Birdhouse. All right.
And while she's going through it, if you have questions while she's going through how to use Stitch Fiddle, please put them in the chat. And
Robin
I'll moderate for her because she'll go big and I'll go away, so I can just moderate. So ask questions she'll start with what is Stitch Fiddle. So don't worry if you have no idea what we're talking about.
All right, let me get into the Marley Birdhouse because I'm going to go directly like as if you're going through the birdhouse to get to where you need to go.
Perfect.
And make sure I'm logged in. Yes, I am. And then I want to make sure I'm logged out of Stitch Fiddle so that we can literally start from the beginning. Log out. Okay. I think I'm going to have to, nope, hold on.
I think,
I do this and then do this. Nope.
No, I'm going to remove myself.
Okay. All right. But I can't hear you when you talk if you do that. So I can't hear you at all. I know, it's a real pain in the rear.
That's very frustrating.
Uh-huh.
Because I was talking to you when you were big before and you could hear me. When you were showing off your pattern.
I don't know. Hold on. Maybe.
It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. It's fine.
I'm afraid to try and use OBS instead of just doing a share screen because that's where everything went awry.
I know.
Trying to film this.
I understand.
So we're going to have to go this route. Sorry. All right. Let me share. I'm sorry, you guys. Bear with me. All right. So we're going to share the entire screen. Is that what I want to do? Oh. I don't think I want to share the entire screen. I think I want to share the window. Yes. We're going to share the window. Okay. Can we see everything here? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to log out. All right. Here we are. Okay. So give me a second. All right. You guys ready for this? Here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to how to use the Stitch Fiddle app right here inside of the Marley Birdhouse. We are going to enter through the Birdhouse Tournament of Stitches 2026 and navigate how to use Stitch Fiddle to your advantage and follow along with these charts. So I do have my helper Robin here today, and I have the whole crew from the Mondays with Marley, so they can help ask questions that maybe you have on your own, and we can work on this together. So without further ado, let's say hello to Robin and hello to Stitch Fiddle. Okay, so right here, I have a window open and I've gone to stitchfiddle.com. Now, this is where I want you to start. I want you to go to stitchfiddle.com and I want you to create an account. It is free to create an account, but it is, there is an option to upgrade for, I think, Robin, is it like $20, $25 a year or something like that?
It's real cheap.
It's real cheap. It is not that much money. And if you are a fan of my patterns, my knitting patterns, and some of my crochet patterns, I use Stitch Fiddle a lot. So you will absolutely get a lot of bang for your buck. So I want you to sign in to begin with. So that way, when we open up our chart, it will automatically open up into your Stitch Fiddle as you're logged in, hopefully. So I have an account. So I'm just going to simply log in, and it's that easy. When you're in here, you can, this is my home. I have an entire area where I have all of my charts saved. You can see here, we use it a lot. This is not me just giving you lip service, right? We use it a ton. And if you pay for the account, you can actually organize them in this manner. So I have folders here that allow me to organize my stuff. Okay. So I'm going to pop out of here and we're going to go over to Tournament of Stitches. Here you are. This is the Knitting Tournament of Stitches. You guys are very familiar with this. This is your main page. And I've scrolled down to where we're looking at all of the modules. This particular video is going to be housed right here in how the Tournament of, in what Stitch Fiddle, this one more over. What is Stitch Fiddle and how to use it? We're going to put that video right into here. But we are going to scroll down here and we're going to start at the Netflix and chill, because I want to show you how you will get to the charts from any of the concentration levels. We'll use Netflix and chill, but this works the same for smooth jazz and be quiet, so that you can use it. So I'm going to click on view this module. Opens up the module. You can click over here on the lesson that we want to follow along with. Let's move along with lesson number 1. So, or play number 1 from the lessons. So you guys know how this looks. We have our video instructions here. This is the image of what was created. This is an explanation of what you would learn in this particular lesson. Scroll down here to the downloads. We have your printer-friendly PDF. And this is, if there's ever errata, this is always updated, just so you guys know. This right here, where it says Stitch Fiddle PDF, this is a PDF that has been generated from the Stitch Fiddle we're going to take a look at, okay? So that is not your Stitch Fiddle link. That is strictly just a PDF. Maybe you're just like, I don't want to go over to Stitch Fiddle. I just want to print off a PDF. There it is right there for you, okay? And then, of course, the row by row checklist if you want. I then pulled out those chart links. So these are the Stitch Fiddle links that are inside of the pattern. And this is what we want to look at. First thing I want to point out is when it says play number, blah, 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 this is the chart for the shawl, okay? When it gives you the name of a stitch pattern and then says chart, this is the chart for the actual stitch pattern we're using outside of any formatting for the shawl. So I'll show you both of them. Let's look at the garter ridges image first. So I'm going to click on the link and notice it opens it up automatically into Stitch Fiddle for me. I'm already logged in and this is what it looks like. Doesn't look like a whole lot of much, right? Because there's no shaping or anything going on. This is purely just showing you what this stitch pattern looks like, okay? Say you want to save this to your own account. What you're going to do is come up here to File, come right down here to where it says Create a Copy. You'll click on that. It automatically applies the word copy of, and it has the stitch or the name, whatever it is on there that we have. You can rename that. You can name it whatever you want. And if you are in the paid for version, this is the part that I was telling you that you can have folders. So I have a Tournament of Stitches folder that I've already got this in, and I can click next. And the great thing about Stitch Fiddle is it automatically opens up into that copied version. So I don't have to worry that if I edit anything on here, that I'm editing my original. Okay, I'm using my copy. And you can verify that right up here in the title. This is your title and it already says copy. Okay, so in here, I can make any changes I want. Okay, I'm not going to go into what changes you can make. I'm just saying you can do this. But can you see how this is just the stitch pattern, right? This is not the shawl. Now let's go back and take a look at the shawl. So I'm going to click the link right here for play number 1. And this is going to give us the shape of the shawl. Can you see the difference? So what has happened here is we've taken the stitch pattern and we have applied it into this template essentially of what the shawl looks like. And you might be like, well, I thought we were making a triangle shawl. You are. This is a triangle, believe it or not. It's just the way we need to cut it up in order to show how the shaping works. So follow along with me here. First thing we're going to do, again, we're going to copy this. So we're going to create a copy. I'm going to leave it named that. I'm going to leave it in my Tournament of Stitches. I'm going to click next. It opens up. Now I'm working with the copy, so I don't have to worry about messing up anything. I can immediately see right over here, these are my symbols, my tools that are available to me for me to use in my project itself. This does not necessarily mean this is my key, because it could be that I don't use all of these. Okay, so you can add more here, you can remove things here, but these are the tools I'm working with. As I'm looking at my chart, I'm going to expand this up so that we're looking at the bottom right corner. You can see on the bottom right corner that it starts off with the number 1 across the bottom and a number 1 as it starts to go vertically at the top or towards the top. And on the right half here, these are all numbered odd numbers. If I come over here to the right half, this is where you're going to find your even numbers. Okay, we're going to come back to those in just a minute, but I want to point out these numbers on the bottom. these do not represent the number of the stitch on your needle. These simply represent the number as it pertains to the block on this chart. The reason for that is all of these gray blocks, they are non-stitches. They do not actually represent an actual stitch until an actual stitch is worked into it. They are essentially placeholders so that when an increase is done over here, you can see we have this increase and it pops out to where on the following row, we have an extra stitch right there. Can you see that? So on this one, you have this increase, and as you move up to the next row, you can see you have an extra white square right there because we increased on the previous row. And so that white square took the place of what was a gray square. So now we have a new stitch on our needles. Does that make sense to everybody? So it can be very confusing, I think, when people are looking down here and they're like, wait a minute, I just started. I have 9 stitches on my needle, but I'm looking at 141 numbers. Like, I don't understand. Those are purely just the numbers of the blocks on your chart. They are not the number of your stitches. Your actual stitch count is represented as you're looking at row 1, all of the ones that have an actual symbol in it. So we have 3 stitches here, and you would skip all of this. Here's your 4th. Skip all of this. Come over here. Here's your 5th. Skip all of this. There's your 6th, 7, 8, 9. Does that make sense so far?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. So that's the first thing. So the bottom numbers represent the numbers of your chart. The vertical numbers here, where we have the odd number over here on the right and the even number over on the left, those do represent your row numbers. And they're helpful because your odd number rows are your right side rows and your even number rows are your wrong side rows. And the numbers, as they're on your chart, give you a clue of which direction you're going to read your chart. So row number 1, your number is over here. So you're going to read your chart from right to left. Okay. Row number 2, your number is right here. So you're going to read your chart from left to right on that row. Okay. It's a snake. You go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Everybody with me on that so far?
Just like you're knitting.
Yeah, this is like a combination of how to do Stitch Fiddle and how to read a chart, right? The important thing here, though, is to remember that when you're on a wrong side row, whatever you're looking at on this chart is going to be whatever the wrong side version of that is. Follow along with me here. When you knit, right, you have a knit stitch and you're knitting. You're looking at your knit stitch. If I am looking at my knit stitch over here, what does Robin see over here?
I see pearls.
She sees a pearl, right? So if I'm working on my chart and I'm working along and I'm knitting, 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 over here, these are all pearls. So as I turn my work and I'm reading my chart, the chart is representing what this side looks like, always what your right side looks like. Mm-hmm. So even though I've turned my work, my chart is still showing it to me like this. So follow with me. I'm knitting, 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 knitting. I turn my work to work back, but I'm not actually turning my work. I'm coming back like here, right? But I'm over here working. So I'm going to be purling so that the knits over here show. And this is what is showing on the chart. So the chart is a representation of what the right side of your fabric is going to look like. So when you are on your wrong side of the fabric, if you want a knit to show over there, you are going to be purling, and vice versa. So as we are reading these charts, and I come up here, let's come up here to row 6 right here, right? Row 6, you can see there's these bumps. Row 6 is a wrong side row. Those bumps represent pearls, right, on the right side. But if I'm on the wrong side and I want pearls to show on the right side, what am I going to do those stitches?
Knit
them. And I know that that is the most confusing thing for most people when it comes to charts, because they're like, but I'm looking at pearls, but you're on the wrong side. So you have to remember that there are 2 sides of a stitch. There's 2 sides of a fabric. Right. And so there are people who will make charts that they don't make it this way to where it only is showing you what the right side of the fabric looks like. They change each one to represent what your stitch is going to be. That is not a standard. That is not something that they're supposed to do, but they do because that's probably what their audience wants. I would much prefer present the information to you in what is generally acceptable, so that you can go and not just follow one of my patterns, but follow any pattern out there. Because this is how charts are presented. They're presented as a visual 2D representation of what your fabric is going to look like on the right side. So you have to have a basic understanding that, hey, when I'm knitting, it'll be a purl on the opposite side and vice versa. Okay. That's why when you are looking at like a legend, it will give you a right side, it says knit, wrong side purl, right? And this dot right there, on the right side, it's a purl, on the wrong side, it's a knit. Same thing as it comes down here to these different increases that we're using, so on and so forth. That's why it's giving you, hey, on the right side, if you're looking at this, it's going to be this. But when you're on the wrong side, when you're on the wrong side and you're looking at this, this is what your instructions are. Everybody follow along with that. I'm just curious because I don't want to confuse you, but it's important to understand, especially if you've never looked at charts before, to understand how that works. Okay. One thing you could do here in Stitch Fiddle, let's go back to the reason why I use Stitch Fiddle. So I like that I have the options to read, the numbers on either side. One of the things I really love is there is a progress tracker. So right up here at the top, if you see where my cursor is right next to that square A, there's a thing right here that says progress tracker. It looks like a little, like a drop pin in Google. If I click on that, notice it grays out everything that essentially I have not worked, and it highlights the row I'm on. So it assumes right now that I'm on row number 1. So I could finish my row number 1, and over here on the right, I could click the arrow and it'll move up to row number 2. And it leaves the row number 1 like not dulled out, because it's like, oh, you already have this. Now this is the row you're on, but this is what your fabric should look like underneath. And as you're working, you can keep going like this, right? And the great thing is that I can close Stitch Fiddle and come back to this and go to my progress tracker, and it will not start back at 0. It'll stay right here where I left it. Okay. For me, especially as a mom who used to knit and crochet with my kids around, and I tried to use those little row counters, and my kids would get a hold of those, and they thought it was just really cool that they could change the numbers. So I never knew where I was with those. Then I started using little tick marks, and I'd forget to make a tick mark, so I'd lose track of where I am. Having the progress tracker and having it to where it just keeps it where it was is so incredibly helpful. And because you copied this chart to your own Stitch Fiddle, this is yours. So my progress tracker is not going to affect your progress tracker because it's yours. It's in your system. Okay. Everybody with me on that?
So
go ahead.
With that, just keep in mind when you click through, you first get the chart from the Marley Birdhouse. Mm-hmm. Then the second thing is you have to copy it.
Yes.
You have to copy it. So then you're doing your progress tracker.
Yeah.
So when you're coming back to knit, you go straight into Stitch Fiddle. You don't go through the Birdhouse, because then you're going to open up Play One again and not your Play One.
That's a very good point. I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't thought that people would do that before. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very good point. So you want to make sure you're using your very own copy. Okay. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of what else. If you're following along, and like I said to you guys, you have the written instructions. Like, we wrote everything out. And one thing that we've done is when you are following along with my pattern, we start off in Stitch Fiddle. We create our chart in Stitch Fiddle and then rewrite the words. And we write the words in such a way that we know it's the best way to present them, to understand them, so that we can group together repeats and make things understandable. Stitch Fiddle has a word generator for the instructions. It's literally reading what is on the chart, right? Because it's all ones and zeros, essentially. You know what I mean? It's like, here's what it's presenting, here's what the words would be. And technically they work. They are just not very user friendly. However, they can be helpful if you are in a pinch and you need to understand, oh, wait, where am I here? So I want to show you how you can have the words that are generated from Stitch Fiddle show up on your chart here. So right up here next to that progress tracker button, I said that there was a square with the A. I'm going to click on that. And what it does is it loads up the written instructions as generated from Stitch Fiddle. Okay, so with the symbols that I gave it, with the abbreviation, I told them what that symbol means, what the right side and wrong side means for that symbol, and like all of the details I gave it. You know, I said red means stop, blah, 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 and it'll say, okay, red means stop. It's generated these instructions. One of the cool things about it, do you see the little arrows on there?
That's what I was going to say. Those are my favorite part.
The arrows let you know, hey, if you're reading the chart, you're going to read it in these directions. Like I find those so cool. I love those. But it literally writes out the written instructions as they're presented on the chart. And you can download this specifically. You can download this. You can use this next to the written instructions we have and compare the two with the chart. Like there's so many options here for you. But right down here at the bottom, it says show at the bottom. If you click on that, you see where it opened up underneath my chart. And so my progress tracker is on. So my progress tracker is on row number 10. It automatically puts me on row number 10 of the written instructions. And not only does it give me the written instructions, it also tells me, hey, these are the symbols that are used on this row. This is all of the key information for what those symbols mean if you needed to know. Okay. And you can move this. If you need that bigger, you can move this up and down. You can move this back, all the things. So as I go more, you can see row 11 is just knitting. So it just gives me those 2 stitches, gives me all the stitches, 2 stitches, all the stitches. And then it just keeps growing. Are you guys seeing how awesome this is? Like, it's so fantastic. And side note, I make no money from Stitch Fiddle. Like I am not an affiliate. I'm just a big fan. So don't be like, oh, I just love it. We use it all the time.
It's like with every other tool. This makes knitting easier and more accessible.
Yeah.
And if this is working for you, we want this tool for you to see.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to get out of the progress tracker. So I'm going to click this little button here. It says edit chart, and it just takes me out of progress. I can come over here too, and I can close the written instructions. But I want to show you something that really is helpful to me. If you guys know me at all, you know that I'm a big person. I'm a very visual learner, and sometimes symbols are really hard for me to see. So if I apply a color to a symbol, it helps me. So let's say that these 2 symbols right here are just too tricky for me to see on a chart. They're just tricky. But if one was purple and one was yellow, that'd be a lot easier for me. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on this one. This is the one. This is our first increase. This is your wingspan increase. This is your knit 1, purl 1 into the same stitch. Okay. I double clicked on it. I'm going to come up here to color and click color. And I'm going to make that one purple. So now anywhere that this symbol is in my chart, it's going to be purple. You guys ready? Now I made it the background color. I can make it the actual symbol color if I want. Like I can change either one. I like the background color and it made the symbol color white. I like that. I'm going to click apply. Do you see it over there? So now I could be like, I don't have to sit here and get out my magnifying glass. What symbol is that? I immediately be like, oh, it's purple. That's my first increase. I know what I'm doing there. I can do the same thing over here with the other one. Let's go to, and what did I say? Yellow? We could, let's make it green. No, yeah, we'll make it the bright green. I'll click apply. Boom. All right. So now, as long as you know that those are not actual colors, but they represent a stitch, that is so helpful to me. It's just like if you had, it's like the lights. It's like red, yellow, green. You know what those mean, right? Like, red stop, yellow yield, green go. It's the same idea. Purple is my knit 1, purl 1 in the same stitch. Green is my purl 1, knit 1 in the same stitch. I could do the same thing to my middle increase here, which this is just an arbitrary symbol, guys. You can make various symbols. If I wanted to change this symbol to be something else, I could do that, but I wanted to make sure that it takes up 3 stitches because that's what it requires. So I can change the symbol if I want, but instead I want to change the color. I'm going to make it pink, and then I'm going to make my symbol color white. I click apply. Now all of my stitches that are consistent, they're all a different color. Maybe I want my pearls to be different. I'm going to do a couple things here. Maybe I want that to be like that. Okay. But let's say I want to have something to trigger for me that's like, okay, I know I'm looking at a pearl on my chart as the right side, but what if I want it to make it a different color so I know, hey, this is a pearl with a dot, but if it's a pearl with a dot that's pink, that means I'm going to knit. All right, this is a little bit more advanced. You would then create a whole new symbol. Okay, so we're going to create a whole new symbol. We're going to go over here. We're going to go to the basic stitches. We're going to add the dot because we know that that's a pearl. We're going to change the color. Let's make it, let's see, we made that one let's make it the yellow. And I'm going to add, okay? Now it's over here in my available symbols, but it's not over here yet, okay? Right? So let's see here. We are going to, maybe I should do this knit. We're going to change this. I'm going to make this the knit symbol instead of the pearl. We're going to delete this whole thing and do it again. +1, make the knit. Let's make it orange. Okay. Row 1, we know that that's knit. Row 2, that's going to be purled, right? So technically it's going to visually on my chart be a knit, but now that it's orange, that's a trigger for me. Oh, you're going to purl that stitch. Does that make sense? These ones here are going to be knit. These ones here are going to be purled. These ones here are going to be knit. These ones here are going to, is that right? Am I right? Knit. These ones here are going to be knit.
Right.
Right? So let's come up here. Let's do our purl. Let's change our color. I don't want to use red. I mean, I can. Let's use red. So these are they're showing pearls, but I'm going to knit them. So I'm going to make those red. You guys with me on this? This one's knit. This one is showing pearl, but I'm going to knit those. So I'm going to make them red. Can you see how you can customize this to your needs? Now I'm back to where I'm just doing these like this.
And all Marley's doing to change the color is just clicking the box.
Yeah, I'm just clicking the box.
She has it highlighted on her toolbar and she's just clicking the box.
Now, what's cool here is by doing it this way, like this particular pattern, I don't have to make these red pearls. I can just know that all of my pearls on here are actual knits, right? Mm-hmm. Because the orange ones are the ones that I'm most concerned about. Does that make sense? You guys with me on that?
Because those are the pearls.
Yeah, exactly. So because these are symmetrical, I can come here. Let's just select. I use the selection tool. I'm just selecting those and I just select it, take my finger off, copy, paste, boom, right? Now I have really customized this chart to fit my own visual needs. I haven't changed anything structurally. I've just made it fit my needs. Do you understand how that works? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So those are the parts that I really love most about Stitch Fiddle, is that I can make these kind of customization things. You can even come in here into the written instructions here and you can change up how it's written. Right here, it is not set up by default on our end to identify repeats. So it writes literally everything, but maybe you want to make it identify repeats. You can tell it how you want it to identify repeats and it will change things up and write it differently for you if you need it written differently. Like there's just so many different ways you can mess with this on your own. There's also, let's see here. There's a notes section. Show the bottom panel. So I'm going to click here in this legend written notes. Did you see that? So I clicked this side arrow down here underneath the X, and then I just come over here to notes. And so maybe you want to write Malabrigo, worsted. Oh, let's see, it's Rios. You could choose the color. Maybe you want to write needle size 9. You know, anything you want can go here. And this is yours. So nobody else is going to see it. It's just for you. And then you can see different options here of whatever you need. And then you can close that out and you're back to just the chart. To print this, so you have it the way you want it, and you want it now in a PDF form. Okay, maybe you don't want to do the progress tracker. You're not going to have internet available to you, so you want the PDF. Come up here to the top, that down arrow right next to the A. You're going to click on that, and it comes up with this option. You can click on here, file type. You can go to PNG, JPEG, GIF, PDF, all the options, right? So we like PDF. I leave it at A4. This, because it's more horizontal, I put it to landscape. You can make it to where it goes onto one page. You can make it go to 2 pages, 6 pages, and you could like take them together if you want. You could do whatever you want, right? One page will make it very scrunched up and hard to read, which is one of the reasons I like the idea of adding color to the symbols, because if I can't see the symbol, but I can see the color, boom, I'm set. I don't need to see the symbol. If I have a color, I don't need to see the symbol. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. But honestly, if you go to 2 pages, because this is 2 halves of a shawl, you'll have one half on one page, one half on the other page. And you just have to remember to, which page is which as you're following along with it if you need to. You click apply and it will save it. You can add the legend. Say you're just like, I don't need a legend. You can make it so that it doesn't print a legend with it. You can add the legend before the chart. You can add it after the chart. You can do whatever you want, but this is how you're going to save everything. Okay. Or not save, but download it. Download yourself something.
Now, that's pretty much what Marley has in your birdhouse. The PDF is there for you, but like if you've changed your colors and things and you want to make your own.
And then all of this is, tucked safe in your stuff. So I come up here, I went to the hamburger. I can create a new chart. I can do all sorts of things. I can come down to my charts. You can see it's already saved right there into my total. Oh my gosh, look at that. I've never seen that before. We have a lot of charts. I can see that it's like the most recent one I used, or I can go directly to my folder and see that it's in there, but it's in there, saved for me, ready to go. And I can just do whatever I want with all the things. You guys with me? So like even on the Be Quiet number 2, you guys saw this one in you saw this in edit anyway. Like that's what it looks like when you're in your shawl format. Can you see it? So this is one of those, this is a great candidate for color for when you're going to do different stitches and identify those colors. Like this is exactly what I would be doing on this. But this is also one of the condensed down versions. Obviously, we're in play number 2. We have way more stitches than this, right? So we have way more stitches than this. And this is condensing down, showing you that this is just a repeat. This is our repeat. Here's kind of what it's going to look like on either side of your repeat as you're working along. But if you're following along with your written instructions and your chart, it's going to make sense. But this gives you the visual representation of what you're doing. You with me on all that, everybody? All right. So any questions?
So can you show one more time how to access it?
Yes. Let me go back to the Marley Birdhouse and I will do that.
And maybe access Smooth Jazz this time.
Sure.
Just change it up.
Yeah, I can totally do that. It's going to take me a second. Okay. Here we are. All right. So I'm back in here. I'm going to scroll down here to Smooth Jazz, view this module. I'm going to go to play number 1. So I'm in the lessons. I'm going to go to play number 1. Same idea, all the same scenario, scrolling down. I'm going to go to my play 1 chart, click on here. it opens up my chart. Now, all of your Play One charts, they're not condensed down. Like they're literally starting with the number of stitches you have, right? As you go on to future plays, they're going to be condensed down. There's a condensed down option and there's a full shawl option. You decide what you want to go with. But same thing in here. I'm already logged into Stitch Fiddle. I think if you're with the free version, there's a limit of how many you can save to your account. So just be wary of that. But I'm going to create a copy. It says copy. I already put it in this folder. I can click next. Continue. Now, anything I do to this will be it's in its own copy. It's my own version. So I can change anything I want in here. But now you can see everything and how it just looks really cool. I like it. It's fun. And those red lines, if you don't know what those are the repeat. Those are like your repeat lines to show you where the repeat lines are. And you'll notice that it's hard to see. There's a green line right here between those two stitches and this one. That's your marker. So they're like in your written instructions, it has a marker there. So those represent your marker. So when you're looking at your legend, it actually, oh, they took it out. Oh no, it's right there. Where it's the green around, it just tells you that's a marker. Make sense?
Yeah.
Same thing here at the bottom. You have those are the numbers of the squares, then your rows. Same thing with written instructions. You can have them show at the bottom. You can adjust how big this is and just have some fun with it. I mean, there's a lot of options here. And the good news is because you've made this as a copy, you can always go back to the original should you make a mistake and you have a fresh copy to go. You with me? Yeah. So just because we can, let's go back to the chart we were just on and let's prove of where the progress tracker is. Because I moved it up.
And tells you right where you are.
Right where you are.
So it's really nice to just keep track of what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you love charts, just a tool to play with. Yeah. And if you have the free version, not all of the features are there, but Marley wanted to show you why you might want to pay for that yearly subscription. It's not that much money at all.
And if you're a fan of ours, we literally use it with everything.
It's super handy to have around.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So hopefully this answered all of your questions for how to use Stitch Fiddle, specifically with the Tournament of Stitches and the different advantages that you have to really customize your very own chart. Should you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us over in the Marley's Minions Facebook group. There's a lot of wonderful, friendly faces over there that can jump in and give you a hand because we've made a lot of fans of the Stitch Fiddle app. So it is available online. It's free. StitchFiddle.com. We highly recommend the paid for version. And we'll see you in the next video. Done. There you go. And that's how you do it. Now let's hope this saved.
And hopefully you guys can see, hopefully you picked up some tips of how to read charts and how to do things like that. Because it's really nice. Like crocheters, I feel like we luck out because I don't know, stitch diagrams are so fantastic. And charts I find just as wonderful, but sometimes it's hard to convince somebody why they might want one. But hopefully you can see that there's a lot of great benefits to have.
I really like them. As somebody who's visual, and as many of you are visual as well because you watch all the videos and such, they're just another tool to have in your toolbox. And they're just very, very helpful for sure. For sure. Somebody is asking me, did I know that ChowGoo was buying Signature? I did find that out last week. I'm very excited. It's like my two favorite yarn companies are coming together and I literally told them it's the best thing I've read all year. I was so excited. I think Linda asked me earlier how I felt about the quads compared to my Signature. I feel like they're just there's two different places. It's that's there's Old Navy and there's the Gap and there's Banana Republic, right? For me, Signature is Banana Republic and ChowGoo is Gap, where they're wonderful, right? And then you have Susan Bates is Old Navy. Susan Bates is Walmart. So like, that's just like, it's the level of where things are. They're wonderful. Like they're my go-to needles for sure.
Quick question. If you don't make a copy in Stitch Fiddle, can you do anything?
I don't think so, because you don't have access to it. You're not an editor of it.
Yeah.
So you cannot make any changes if you don't make a copy.
Right. You can only view it.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. You can download also. I think we gave access to download if you have the link. But you can't make any edits. You have to copy it.
Yeah. That's why she showed you how to copy it right away.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Well, I think we probably should let everyone go.
I know. I can't believe it's already 2 o'clock. Those of you who are wondering where the email is,
she didn't send it yet.
5 minutes. I thought it was more important to get on here with you and then send the email. So now I'm going to send the email. I have it written, ready to go. I was just like, okay. But yeah, that's it. I plan on knitting. Like, I'm very excited that I don't have to worry about much else tonight. I have a blog post written up for tomorrow's shawl pattern coming out. So there's a free shawl pattern coming out tomorrow for crocheters. So pay attention to that. But I can spend the night just knitting, and I'm very excited about that. So it should be pretty good.
Yeah,
should be pretty good.
Great.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. And I really do hope you are learning something new here, whether you are using Stitch Fiddle with the Tournament of Stitches, or maybe you can use it for something else. We use it a lot. I use it for all my knitting, but then I use it for color work for crochet and stuff too. And then my mosaic crochet, I do a lot of work on there with that. But there you have it. Tournament of Stitches is going strong. You can still join. There is no time limit to join. Don't feel like you're falling behind. You have plenty of time. And if you get the VIP upgrade, we are keeping it at $24 this week. So if you're interested, go ahead and sign up. You'll get all of the stuff that you saw today inside of the Marley Birdhouse, all of those options that Robin showed you that are beautiful. All of the options I showed you that are beautiful.
But the price will be going up, just to warn everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, there you have it. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your week. If you are part of VIP, don't forget we do have our live Q&A Thursday night. All right.
So bring us all of your good questions.
Yes. I will have the pieces on my end done, so you'll be able to see it by Thursday night.
Fabulous.
So I promise you, barring any sort of like bodily injury. All right. Bye.
Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.